Very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. We're coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. First, start off with a look at your top stories this afternoon. President attends global expert group meeting on the Jakarta Principles. Ashoka Chandani Kumara convicted over murder, released. Court hearing against her husband continues. Voting begins in Pakistan with 106 million people registered to vote. In your lead story this afternoon, the Global Expert Group meeting on the Jakarta Principles was held in Colombo under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena today. The event was organized by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. Addressing the event, the President said there is a need to remove the obstacles in the process of fighting crime and corruption. The head of state said it's not easy to fight bribery, crime and corruption as criminals, irrespective of their political parties, band together and work against the people who are fighting against crime. He added often the media highlights only the politicians as corrupt, but state officials are also involved in it. He also said in certain instances, state officials have been far ahead in bribery and corruption than the politicians. Moving on in more local news, 2 books authored by the Secretary to the Ministry of Petroleum Resources Development, Upali Marasinghe, was launched at the Sri Lanka Development Administration Authority today. The books were titled The Skills of Presentation and Productive Government State Organizations. The Ports Authority is this country's most corrupt institution. When I went there, I realized we can fix it, but we need to take strict decisions. I know 99% of those in rail pacers are good people. They don't like stealing, but the high-ranking officials use their power to encourage these people. These leaders from trade unions are the biggest thieves. We have decided to get rid of them. There is no need to privatize state organizations. Officials of the private sector are afraid to make decisions, but sometimes I wonder whether the country can be taken forward under this good governance concept. So we have to protect and carry forward these state institutions. State Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister Wasantha Senanayake, attended the meeting at the Polonnaruwa District Secretariat. The meeting, which was attended by state officials, was organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Around 600 of our migrant workers sustain injuries annually. I think the largest number is recorded from Saudi Arabia. At times, our migrant workers pass away overseas. At such times, their families don't know how to bring back the bodies. They don't know how to claim compensation. They don't know what they are entitled to. These people are very innocent. There are plenty of people like this in Polonnaruwa. Some go overseas for employment and never get paid. The United National Party convened a media briefing at its headquarters, Sirikota.
If we are to develop this country, we must bring in foreign currency into the country. It is only if we bring in foreign revenue that we can become a developed country in Asia. Based on the circumstances during the time of J.R. Jayawardena, he introduced the open economy. President Premadasa at the time built 200 garment factories. We laughed then. We blamed all the leaders all the time. Currently, the open economy is ill-suited. A far more complicated society has been created. Today, various countries have reached agreements with other countries. We saw in the recent past about 180 of the government factories constructed by President Premadasa have been relocated overseas. Industries have been closed down and unemployment is sky high. There are no means of income for the country. The Sri Lanka-Singapore Free Trade Agreement was reached at a time like this. If you look at it from the other point of view, we have made things easy for us. We have given 80% off on the goods that are imported to the country from Singapore. We are trying to determine if we could attract more investors from Singapore. Our primary objective is to bring in more investments and build industries in the country, so we can consider this agreement a turning point. That is why they are fabricating stories. Back then they said President Premadasa is manufacturing undergarments for white women using Sri Lankan women. Now the doctors are protesting. They don't teach economics in the MBBS degree. We ask that the doctors protest in their sector if they must, without doing things that favor Mahinda Rajapaksa. In a normal world, people protest for not having an ambulance service. But here, they protest because there is one.
වෛද්‍යවරු උද්ඝෝෂණය කරන්නේ ඇම්බියුලන්ස් සර්විස් එකක් ආවයි කියලා.
Ashoka Chandini Kumara alias Bhatti, who was charged for the murder of a 57-year-old woman and her 17-year-old daughter in Kotaketana, Ratnapura, was acquitted and released today. Colombo High Court Judge Vikum Kalwarachi ordered for her release after concluding that there was insufficient evidence against her following the examination of evidence. However, the Colombo High Court decided to continue hearing the case filed against the first defendant, Lohugama Hevage Darshana, alias Raju, who is the husband of Bhatti. The Attorney General had filed the case against the couple over the brutal murders of Nayana Nimmi and Kavinda Chaturangani at a house located down Temple Road in Kotaketana, Ratnapura on the 31st of January 2012. An accident involving a CTB bus that occurred along the A9 road close to the Punava Navy base has left 18 people injured. According to police, the injured were admitted to the Vaunia hospital. 5 women are among the injured. The accident was a result of the driver falling asleep at the wheel. Also, 9 tippers transporting sand violating permit rules have been taken into custody in Veerakatia. The 9 tippers were taken into police custody last evening in Veerakatia. The sand was being transported for the construction of the Southern Expressway. The tippers that were taken into custody will be presented before the Valasmulla Magistrates Court. Now, although the foundation stone was laid for the construction of the Bibila market last week, the construction activities have not yet begun.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe laid the foundation stone for the construction of the Bibila market on the 7th of this month. The Bibila Pradesh Sabha allocated a separate space for traders to engage in their businesses until the construction activities are completed. Area residents claim although the traders were relocated, the construction of the marketplace has not yet begun. A correspondent said traders had put up temporary tents where the foundation stone was laid and were engaging in their trade.
The Adivale procession carrying the Velayudaya organised by the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited in the view of promoting national reconciliation is scheduled to arrive at the Katharagama Mahadevalaya today. The parade, which began from Selvasanidhi Kovil at Point Pedro on the 19th of this month, began its journey towards the Katharagama Mahadevalaya on the 23rd of this month.